Howdy, hey, hello, it's McKenna, and this is Munch and Mingle. We are here. 12 days, our 12th day of podcasting, and it's about thrill, sad. But what better way to go out than with a bang? Well, what I deem a bang. We are doing a goals A&P. Now, if you've been with the podcast for a while, I did an episode back in 2023, I believe it was for October, where I talked about how I make monthly goals, and I call it an A&P, aka accounting and planning, where I just account for the month previously and plan for the next month. I love it, highly suggest it. Good news, we're going to do it right now. But what we are accounting, or I guess recounting for, is the year 2025. Yes, we still have some time left, but we're just going to do it now. And then we are going to plan or talk about the goals I have set for 2026. What I'm really hoping is that this will lead you or help you go on to plan your own goals for 2026. Now you may ask, McKenna, why are you so big on goal planning? And why are you always trying to push others to set goals? Thank you for asking that, person I cannot see. The reason I am so big on planning out goals is because I love having something to do, as well as something to achieve for myself, which is not saying I'm an overachiever. It just means I'm bored and I don't like being bored, or idle, I should say. It gives me purpose, honestly. And I really do. I love the feeling of knowing that I'm increasing in something. It hasn't always been that way, but definitely lately. So, I mean, if we look really deeply into that thought alone, increasing in something, isn't that what we're supposed to be doing while we're here on earth? Gaining all that we can in this life so that when we stand before God one day, we get to show up with what we produced, with whatever we were given. And then the answer to that second part, why do I always push others to set goals? Because I know the feeling of accomplishing something and I want others to feel that. Looking back over my goals for this past year, I'm in shock, actually. Shock that we completed a good majority, but it's given me something to constantly talk about and also receive advice about, receive help with. And I want that for other people. We always say, in church, when you have a calling that makes it easier to talk to people, or at least I feel that way. Sometimes I'm really awkward with going up to people and just being like, hi, if there's not a reason. But if you give me a calling, whatever calling, I always use that as the backfall. Oh, hi. It helps me to be more comfortable because I'm like, well, I have this to fall back on. So it's not weird that I'm just coming up and talking to you. Sorry, random tangent. But it's kind of that same thing with the goals. It almost pushes me because I'm like, oh, well, I'm doing this because of that. I'm not just doing this to be weird. Don't know if that's a great reason, but I've realized I'm also a natural cheerleader at heart. Not good for the actual cheerleading team, but very good for cheering you on in your goals. I love being able to yeah, you've got this. You can do it. It's so much fun for me. And so bless my family. I remember at the beginning of this year, I'm like, okay, everyone, what's your goals? Let's talk about it. And I was the annoying person who would check in regularly. How you doing? How's that going? So apology, but not really, because I love it. I love getting to cheer people on what they're doing. But now I can sit back and say what has worked and what didn't this year so as to help you be one step more ahead on your goals. 2025 was the year I actually made goals and stuck to them. Now, I have been making minor goals just as I've been doing it every month. So to build up now to an actual year and do them, it's awesome. But it also does come with a really cool feeling that I'm looking over the list right here and I'm like, dang, girl, you go. Also, though, I am seeing there's about 3 to 4 goals here that haven't been finished. But like I said, it's only December 12th when we are recording this. So I've got, what is that? Is that 18? Please tell me my math is right. Regardless, I've got some days to knock it out as best as I can. So we are staying purposeful right up to the last second, and I love it. So we're going to go over what those goals were for the year and also what I am planning to do next year. However, I want to revisit something real fast. This is something I talked about when I first brought these goals to light. If you remember, at the beginning of this year, I wasn't on the pod, but I still needed that outlet. Well, I used YouTube, which I will not be linking here. I think I made a total of 5 videos. Podcasting, so much more fun. That's just me. But I did make a video at the beginning of the year highlighting my goals. And it was actually fun to pull that up and listen to me at the beginning of the year. That sounds a little selfish, shallow. No, but it really was cool to just hear why I did these or why I picked these, because some of them I kind of forgot why they came from that. But then, yeah, to see where I am now. So if anything, when you make your goals for 2026, I want you to take a video of yourself doing exactly what I'm about to do. Just explain it. You don't have to post it. I mean, you could and then just list it as private. But you could even do a voice memo so that it's on your phone and just record yourself talking about your goals, why you picked them, and what you hope to achieve with them. Because having yourself as a person to stand accountable to, I mean, I'm sure there's another deeper reason as to why it's beneficial. But just for me, it's a really cool feeling. And it is kind of nice to be like, okay, I'm standing accountable to me. I made these goals for a reason. And I can now say like, hey, was that too far off? Were we not really in line? Or yeah, you did it. It's really cool. One more huge thing we need to talk about is when you make your goals, we are not just putting them in our brain to think about and hopefully, fingers crossed, come December 2026, account to ourselves just with that thought. Spoiler alert, if that's what you do, I can almost guarantee you will not achieve these goals, or at least you will not be purposeful in achieving your goals, nor will it be as fulfilling. When we make our goals for 2026, we are writing them down on paper. We are sticking them on the wall, the bathroom mirror, wherever we can see them and be reminded of them constantly. Now, if you want to get a little creative, you want to make a little design on Canva with your goals and go print them out, totally great. I love it. I'm jealous. I wish I could do that, because what I ended up doing was I just printed out a little chart that I made on like Word doc. But it's printed out and it's laminated, gosh dang it, and it is great for me. But it's awesome because the fact that it's laminated, I get to just sit it with my study materials. So I'm passing over them pretty much every day. But I've realized alongside writing them out, the first initial time is writing them out as much as you can on top of that. So I purchased a digital planner last year to print out. And it technically was just a budget planner, but the creator included general monthly goal sheets as well as quarterly goal sheets. So I had another avenue to constantly revisit my goals and to really hone in on specific ones as I went through the year. And then to top it all off, Britt and I have mini whiteboards that we have on the wall in our room, and we would update them regularly for our monthly goals. Sometimes the goals matched alongside the yearly goals. Sometimes it was just a random goal that came up and needed to be done that month. But nevertheless, it was a constant. And maybe that's why it's feeling like I don't even know how to say it. It's a celebration because we have been bombarded with our goals this year. But it's so nice because it's like, yes, we gave every opportunity that we could to ourselves to achieve these things. And I've never done that before. And so now I can be like, yes, that's it. Oh, and another great tip, when your goals are somewhere, you can easily see them. That also means whoever else is around you is going to see them too. So that whether that be your spouse, your kids, your parents, your roommates, whoever, it's another way of accounting. But it's also great because it helps the people around you know how to rally you on. They might not even realize they're doing it. They might just bring it up one day and like, hey, how's that goal going? Or hey, I saw you had this goal. Why don't we go do that? That is awesome. Okay, I'm going to pull the same benefits that I found when I did that YouTube video of writing down your goals. There are 10 of them. So when you write down your goals, number 1, it provides clarity. 2, it increases commitment. 3, it enhances focus. 4, it boosts motivation. 5, it tracks your progress. 6, it strengthens your memory. 7, it aligns your subconsciousness. There we go. 8, encourages your accountability. 9, reiterates your long-term vision. And 10, increases your chance of success. I said that at the beginning of this year, not really knowing if it was true, but I stand here to accounting to you today 100%. All of these things. And there's even a study I saw that the people who wrote out goals compared to those who didn't are 42% more likely to achieve them. That seems like a low stat, but still, any increase or chance of succeeding we'll take. You will not go wrong with writing down your goals. My 2 favorite reminders, one comes from the scriptures and the other from my dad. With no vision, we perish, and a goal never written down is just a wish. So carry that with you because now we're going to get into it. Real talk though, I did go overboard with my goals. In my defense, I was coming off a year that I needed to boost myself. So I wanted to do all that I could to forget the hard things that came in 2024 and really, really like move into another direction, another movement forward. So I did that, and that was good for this year. But now as I'm going into 2026, it's not that I'm taking off a few, but I have gained the habits that I needed, especially now, a habit of making goals and yearly goals and achieving them. But now I realize, okay, it's time to fine-tune them. Each goal is not going to be just a quick and done or super vague. It's going to require a little bit more time and effort this year. Now, if you are just beginning, I'd say more small goals are the way to go to gain quicker momentum. But if you're seasoned in goal making and keeping them, now is the time to look to the long game. Steady and slow, but building up to the big, what is it called? Crescendo. The other thing is, we have to plan for hiccups, y'all. Summer was my hiccup. I became so burnt out because we had so many life changes this past summer that it took everything in me to even complete one goal during those 3 months. Plan for that in your timeline. Plan that you're going to probably have maybe a month, maybe even a quarter where you're just like, this is so hard. So hit the ground running as best as you can. It might even be like January is great and then February is the fallout because that's normal. Just plan for it, give yourself some grace, and then still stay intentional. If you have a goal, like let's say you have a goal of something to do every month and something comes up, takes your energy or attention away, then maybe the next month you do that thing 2 times or doubly, or you try to find something comparable to that goal. Maybe you could try to stay intentional during the month. The point is just, I don't want you to give up on your yearly goals because of a bad month, right? Okay, here we are, 2025. So I ended up making 4 categories: spiritual health, physical mental health, financial health, and emotional health. I really, really liked this. It helped me feel like I covered all my bases pretty well. So for the next year, I'm going to be following the same pattern. And another side note, these are my personal goals. I highly recommend doing goals outside of this for you and your spouse, but also for your family. I had quarterly goals thanks to that planner for me and the boys. And we'll do that again this year. And this weekend, it's so cute. Britt and I are actually going to go do a date where we are going to have a giant planning meeting where we go over all this, kind of like business planning meeting, if you catch my drift. We'll talk about personal goals. We'll talk about goals for our marriage and, of course, our family. I got the idea from my sister Ginger, who saw it on TikTok, and it actually encourages you that when you do this, to go like rent out a conference room somewhere, make it feel like an actual business meeting. Britt and I were going to go to our library. Turns out they're closed this Saturday. Weird. But guess who has keys to their church building? So we'll be there. While the kids are having a day with Gigi and Poppy. Shout out Stephen Timber. Thank you. So in each category, I had 5 goals to go along in that category. Yes. It was an overload. But as I said, I wanted to stay so intentional this year, and it did that for me. However, you'll also see I was a little vague on some of these goals. And we just talked about this on one of my last episodes. When you are goal setting, you want to get specific as you can. So that's why this year I'm not focused on having 5 goals. I'm going to end up probably just doing 4, which might not sound like a difference, but it's good for me. I highly suggest doing these 4 categories though, or whatever other categories you need to focus on in your life. You, of course, label them differently, fit your needs, but you have 365 days. I don't want you to finish your yearly goals by March. So at least shoot for 2 goals in each category and have 1 goal in each category that is a continuous every month type of goal, if that makes sense. So do the categories. It will help you kind of sort everything out, and at least 2 minimum in each category. But I think, having 1 of those goals in each category, man, can I say that word any more times? As a monthly one, that's going to be it. So we're going to start with my spiritual goal, and that will kind of explain what I mean is in that. What's another word for category? I don't know. I had to go to the temple one time a month at least. Thankfully, we did it. Even during the chaos of summer, I think that was the only goal I kept up during the summer. But some of you, which side note, we need to address this. You might say you really shouldn't make going to the temple something you check off your to-do list. I wholeheartedly agree with you, Karen. The reason I have it on my goal sheet, though, is, let's be real, I'm a mom of 3, which is a full-time job in and of itself, but I also started working part-time. So more times than not, as soon as the month starts for me, it's gone. So if I don't have it on my goal sheet as 1 time a month and a checklist, a to-do list, there's a good chance I'm not making it that month because I'm going to forget, things are going to come up, blah, 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 blah. So I wanted to build the habit. But spoiler alert, I am keeping that same goal for the next year because now I want to retain it. So for me, that worked. Yes, we can go deeper as if you're going to the temple, you're like, where's your heart? We know that. That's in so many other talks we've talked about. But I just want to point out, having a goal like that is not bad. Especially, again, if you're trying to build the habit and remind yourself, if your schedule is so full, you're going to need the reminder. So there's that. Okay. Wow, I'm getting all worked up. And we're just talking goals, y'all. So continuing in the spiritual health category, my second goal was more time with Heavenly Father and Jesus Christ. Like I said, that one was a little vague, but I planned to do that more with an intentional scripture study, which I can say we did great. Next one was attending church every week. Besides on days that we were sick, we did it. And that came off of, again, 2024, we had a baby. I would find reasons constantly to be like, you know what? We don't need to go to church. And it was at 12 o'clock. So it was right during nap time. We have come out of that. We pushed ourselves to be like, hey, what's important to us? What's important to our family? And when we moved, y'all, we went back to 12 o'clock church. So it was really the like final tester the remainder of this year. And we've done it. And thank heavens we're moving to 9 a.m. church next year. But great. I love seeing the blessings from that. And then the next one was actively participating in a calling. At the time I made this, I had no calling. So I was really, really hoping that like even I was going to force myself to kind of push and almost bring it up to my bishop, like, please give me a calling, which we did. We are also in a calling now. So that's great. And last but not least, know my ministering sisters. This one was a good one. This was the one that I was kind of talking about earlier. It would push me to go out and to talk, but specifically to whoever my ministering sisters were. And since moving, we didn't have any, and I just got some as in like a couple days ago. So we want to finish this out strong. I've got a plan to at least introduce myself to them before the end of the year. So we're good. Okay, moving on. Physical, mental health. Complete a 90-day no sugar challenge. I did this one twice and it was good. But the reason I want to talk about this is why sometimes goals are great. I realized the reason I made this goal, it was because in 2024, I did 75 hard and I did no sugar. And I saw such great benefits from that. So I wanted to do it again, but this time around, it didn't do great in the sense of, yeah, I did no sugar, but then I just started replacing it with other things. So I was building another bad habit. So this was a good one for me to realize like, hey, I wasn't looking at the root of the problem. So that did help me. Even though it was like, okay, probably not. It's not that it wasn't good. No, I can't say that because again, it helped me discover what the real problem was. The next one, this is controversial. So, and I'm going to have to explain it. I want my weight to be under 200. Having 3 kids, going through the ups and downs of binge eating and whatnot. I know it's controversial to put a number to it. I've heard a lot of my friends be like, you really shouldn't hit a number. You should just want to have a healthy lifestyle. 100%. Going back to what I said earlier about making the goal about the temple. For me, I know I am not my healthiest when I am anywhere 200 pounds plus. If I get down to 199, okay, great. But it means to me like, and I stay there. Great. It means to me though that I am in a healthy lifestyle, but there's no reason I need to be over 200 pounds. Yes, I'm tall, but it's nothing that I don't need to be near that. So that is why it was there. It helped. It has helped me through this year. Currently though, I'm not there. I am a couple pounds shy, but what has now been happening, I've been stressing more, trying to hit under that number this month. So I can see now where that is the problem of setting a number. Is yes, I was intentional through the year, but now as I'm getting closer to the end of the month and I'm seeing like, oh my gosh, we're so close, I'm actually plateauing. And I know it's because of the stress that I'm putting on myself and thus still have not completely worked out the binge eating cycle. So that's where I agree and disagree. Disagree that it shouldn't be on there, but I agree to see now why that can be an issue. But either or, I am proud of the success we made. I'm under 210, which is a lot to say because we started out, y'all, being so real here. I was 235. So we have gone through some. If you look at the chart on my app, my little Lose It app, if you look at the chart, it's a constant up and down this whole year. But it's good because it's helped me to realize like, okay, again, what is the root of the problem? And so we'll get into that more as with the new goals. One other one for this category was to cook through a new cookbook. Honestly, I didn't do one. I did a couple, but I was constantly pulling from these multiple cookbooks all throughout the year. So I'd say job well done. Read 30 books. I was flying through this number. I was like so ahead of schedule and then summer hit and I did not read one book all of summer. So that put me behind and I'm currently on my 30th book right now. So looking to complete that one here shortly. And then last, but not least, it was to either complete a Sudoku book or to finish this crochet blanket that I started, y'all, right before Britton got home from his mission. This one is tricky. I started the Sudoku book. I got through all the easy levels. I got to medium and I can't do it. I don't understand. I'm like, I thought I've been doing this right the whole time, but apparently not. It's so hard. And this is the medium level. So I kind of gave up on that. I haven't put as much effort into it. I'm like, can I just find an easy book and just do that? Because even the easy, I felt like I would sit there and it was so good for my brain. Because we looked this up as a brain exercise and they recommend doing Sudoku or puzzle books like this. And I was like, awesome. I'll just work through this whole book. No. So got a little bit of way through that. But then the crochet blanket, and I'm so happy I did the or on this one. I started this blanket right before Britton got home from his mission, y'all. So 2019. The reason it has taken me so long, yes, I haven't been as diligent, but I made it too big. So Britton's tall, and when I was measuring how long I wanted this chain to be, I did my arm length, which I'm 6 feet. So I was like, okay, that's 6 feet, but Britton's taller. Where in my brain did I think to do this? I don't know. I ended up doing 2 arm lengths. So is that 12? It's about almost 12 feet. Is that right? I don't know. But when you see this blanket, it's huge. So it is taking me to do one chain. 12 feet sounds too big. It can't be 12 feet. But it takes me over an hour to do one chain across. That's why it's taken so long. It is bigger than a king size bed, a cow king bed. We've put it on and it's big, but it doesn't still look proportionally right. So I want it to look like a blanket. For a time there, it just looked like a really wide table runner. I was like, it needs to be a blanket. Well, now we're there. So I realized if I wanted it to be totally like perfectly square, same feet across, I was going to need more yarn. I went to go look at the beginning of this year. They no longer sell the exact yarn that I started with this, but I had pre-bought a lot of yarn. So my goal was finish this blanket. And by doing that, like use all your spool of yarn or whatever. I'm on my last one. So I'm so close, but I have dropped off these past weeks. So that's another one that I'm like, I just need to sit there and just go every night and I can do it. I know I can because luckily since the chain takes so long, it takes up a lot of yarn. So I'm really, really crossing my fingers. It needs to be done. It has to be done. So, okay, moving on to the next category, financial health. We wanted, and we talked about this yesterday in our Why You Need a Budget, $10,000 paid towards our school debt. As of, I'm pretty sure I checked today. Are we 100? I think we're $100 off, or are we? It changes so much. There's so much going on. We're either there or we're like $100 off. I can't remember, but even if that's the case, we have one more payday, so we should be set. Next is our funded emergency fund. We're doing the Dave Ramsey plan, so we just have the $1,000 starting like emergency fund. Check. It's there. It currently is in a high yield savings account and I have it hidden so we don't see it all, but it's also gaining some extra little. It's not a lot. It's like $1 or so that it's gaining extra, but we'll take it. No medical bills. This was a big one because we knew coming into this year that we were going to have multiple surgeries for our kids. And thank heavens, thank heavens, we're good. We're clear on that. I even had a medical procedure. I had crazy, I hated it. A nodule on my thyroid. It was awful. So I had to go get a biopsy on that. And it turned out like there was just a bunch. I think there was a cyst on there too. Oh, please never make me go do that again. It was awful, but we're good. And then a fully funded Christmas sinking fund. We did that. It was great. Love it. And then last but not least, make over $1,000 in a side hustle income. Check. This is the one that I actually was going to be like, this is going to be the hardest one. And I'm so thankful. It was hard. I'm not saying it was totally easy. Like we actually had to really commit to this one. But that's like the first one that I'm like, we did it. We did that all. So very, very thankful. And then lastly, this is the emotional health. This is where I feel like it tends to get more vague, but it is emotion. So it might be that way. It was more just of a general, like, I need to get my emotional self in a better stance. So the first goal, it was actually referencing a book I had finished at the end of 2024. So I wanted more class and grace in myself. And the line that I got from this book was like how to react in high, hostile, or tension-filled situations. So it was retreat, wield a shield, or return fire. What is this one? I'm pretty sure this is The Best Intentions, The Best Laid Plans, that book. It's by Sarah Eden. It's a great, great series. She just is an incredible author. But yeah, this situation happened in that book. So I was like, oh, I want to do that. And honestly, see, this is where it gets hard, is how do you gauge yourself on this? Because you can't really plan out these moments or experiences. I would say I definitely have done better, but there's still room for improvement on this. I know I tend to react quicker than I should. So I feel like I've done a little bit better on that, like calming myself down and being like, hold on, take a beat. But there's still for sure some room for improvement. Next one was dress like I'm in my 30s. I really felt like I needed to like come into my new self in my 30s. And by doing that, I wanted to build a new wardrobe. And so in those little monthly goals I would set, I made myself, I had to add at least one piece of new clothing to my wardrobe and then take out one. And we did that. And I thought I actually turned out okay. I'm like, oh, I just got my hair done 2 days ago. And I'm like, I actually look like a 30-year-old. And not in a bad way. Like, I'm actually really leaning into the 30s. It's kind of great. Last was let go of others' dramas. I definitely have done way better on this one. That was a big problem in 2024 for me. So I think I have done well on this one. Of course, again, always room for improvement, still practicing, but we did very well. And then put some pep back in my step. I wanted to have 2 to 3 creative outlets. I knew I wanted to get back the podcast, so that was one of them this year. I was doing that YouTube little video experience for a while. That was good. And then I felt like there was one other more. There was something else, because I was like, I'm doing this specifically for the goal. I can't think of it. I don't know. But the podcast has definitely been the big one coming back too, which I'm so, so happy. And then last, trust my gut, say yes when I mean it and no when I mean it. That one will be making a comeback this year, because I think I know I definitely could have done better on that. It's just so hard, y'all. You get it. It's so hard to, especially if you're a people pleaser. It's so hard to say no sometimes. But even some days I would say yes, and then I feel like I was flaky because I had a really hard day or I just didn't want to go continue doing. So I'm bringing that one back. Okay, so as you can see, I still have a chance. But even if today was December 31st, 2025, I am really happy with what I've accomplished this year. And there's so much more I've done that were not on these goals, which another benefit to being anxiously engaged, it tends to spill over into other areas of your life. You're more open and willing to do other things that push you because you know you can as you complete goals that you've set along the way. So if that alone doesn't inspire you to set goals, I don't know what's going to. But now let's go on to 2026. Remember, I'm keeping the same categories, but yeah, I'm going to just do 4 goals this time, but I am going to leave one checkbox open in case I want to add something else, which that actually might be another good strategy. If you just give yourself the option, should you complete a category before the year's over, but you're going to see a lot of my goals are really going to be based over the next 12 months. So let me just pop these open. I've got a bajillion windows open. Yes, I haven't printed it yet. Don't worry. I am getting my laminating pages. I ran out. So I wanted to make sure those are here. Okay. Starting with spiritual health. Once again, going to the temple once a month. We talked about, Britt and I, because we talked about this in a past episode where we did go twice a month. Maybe that's why I was burnt out. I think that was over summer. I don't know. That just like came into my mind. I was like, summer was a blur. We talked about going twice a month. However, I'm picking up another goal that I'm really trying to focus on in doing once a month too in the spiritual health. So I'm going to stick to one and we'll see how this year goes. But there's always the option. Like I said, we just picked up like, hey, let's do it for this time. You can always do that too. There's no reason you can't go more than once, but maybe I'll just do that subconsciously. If I finish it at the beginning of the month, maybe I push myself then like, hey, maybe let's try to go another time. Again, this is how my mind works. I love going to the temple. I also have this running thing within myself like, are you sitting idly? Have we finished everything for the month? Then let's get back again. But it really is so good to be in the temple. And I've started to realize that thanks to this goal of pushing me to get there once a month. All that to say, the next goal, I am going to try and complete a 24-hour fast one time a month. It's going to be difficult. I know for me, I love my food. I love my water. I love my routine of eating. But I know this is something that is lacking in my life. And I know of the blessings it can bring. I mean, we would do it of course I did it on the mission, but I remember starting it, I think it was Dana, that we all did it like lunch to lunch. And I actually loved that a lot. So I think that's how we're going to approach it this year. Next goal is I want to memorize the living Christ, which I don't even know if you don't know what that is, it's not a document, is it? More a statement of how we view our Savior, our Redeemer, the Christ. I got halfway right at the last transfer of my mission, and then I stopped. So I know I can do it, but that's why I'm giving myself the year, because it's a pretty long document. But it's so good. I really want to do that one. And then this is the newest one, but I'm really excited. How do I even say this? I heard about this. Britton and I then talked about it, and then our ward brought it up. So I was like, that's the sign. Monthly family councils, AKA it could be a family home evening, could be a family night, but I want to incorporate these more, especially as the boys are getting older, starting the routine, especially though now, so that we can get a good head start. But I wanted to have that as a personal goal to make sure that's like pushing me to kind of make sure it's gathered and everything is ready so that we can do that. I don't know how at all it's going to look. My friend Kiana was bringing this up when we were at the temple last week, that her mom does this regularly. Like she grew up doing not just monthly family councils, like daily family councils. So I'm going to try to get a hold of her and we're going to chat. And I'm really hoping to do an episode with her because that would be so much fun to talk about this. It's so interesting. And I just feel like there's a really big pull towards getting back together and strong within your own four walls. So there's that. And then we leave a space open. Going to physical mental health. You know, I just went over talking about how the no sugar for 90 days maybe wasn't the smartest thing, but here I am looking at my next goal for this year. So I put no fast food for 90 days. I love the 90 days apparently. And I don't think I necessarily struggle with this one, especially when we've got the financial health category in the back of my mind. But again, I don't know. Should I keep that? Should I not? It's there right now. We'll see if I change it. Next one is reading books again. And I'm going to now read 31 books. I think I can push myself to go 130 was a lot, assuming I might have a hiccup again, but I'm going to push forward. And yeah, we're going to try for 31. That honestly has been one of my favorite goals. I've grown to now love reading. And I now am sitting here being like, I want to go back and read those books I read 2 years ago. So very nice. This one I'm so excited about. I want to learn how to play chess. Talk about really good for the brain. But in elementary, I remember me and my sister randomly got put into a chess club. So I vaguely remember some things about it. But my sweet grandma last night called and was like, hey, I need to know what you want for Christmas. And so we were on Amazon and I was like, wait. And I found a little magnetic chessboard. It was like $10. I was like, yes, please. And because I'm pretty sure in that chess club, that's what we were given. So I'm like, I'm going to go back to the roots. Maybe if I have something similar, it will help spark other things. But Britton said he's going to do that one with me because he started learning it while he was on his mission. So I was like, that's going to be fun. That could be so much fun for date nights. So really excited about that one. And then last but not least, also kind of a family one. Britton and I decided on Thanksgiving, we saw that huge 5K that they do here in Utah. And we talked about it. I was like, we should do a family 5K. We're going to have ample opportunities. Thanksgiving would be like, if we still haven't made it, we're going to have to do it then. But we've got a lot of, especially in Utah, we love to run here apparently. I know they have the Memorial Day one. I'm pretty sure they have a 4th of July one. They've got the one during Halloween. So there are opportunities, but we will be doing it. I say run. Maybe I should just say participate in, because your girl, I've run 5Ks before, but now we're going to be like strolling because we're bringing the kids with us. Maybe if I actually try to run, we can get someone to watch them while me and Britt do it. Either way, we will be in a 5K this year. Let's see where we at. Okay, financial health. A lot of these I pretty much copied over from the last one. I want $10,000 again paid towards our school debt. 10,000 plus, excuse me. So even if it's $1 more, we'll take it. No medical bills again. I think that's just a good one to have. It kept me really on top of everything this year. I don't foresee, I think they talked about one surgery for Briggs because he's got a pretty bad, what is it called? Is it tongue tie and the lip? He has both. But there's still, we'll see. The fully funded Christmas fund, I am changing the amount because while we did fund it for this year, I realized I was like, ooh, yeah, we probably could do a little bit more, which again could be counterintuitive to our main goal, but I'm okay. We're okay with it. If we skimp and save on everything else during the year, but we give a little bit more towards Christmas, I'm fine with that. The new one, and I'm actually excited for this, since going along with fasting, I have personally gained an incredible witness from paying our tithing, but I have not regularly participated in paying a full fast offering. And Britt and I have talked about this. His parents are actually really, really big on this one and have a huge testimony of this. So I know that's something where I'm lacking, and we have been blessed tremendously. And I know those fast offerings go to bless people in time of need, especially when it comes to food. So that is something I know we've constantly talked about. We've done a little bit here and there, but never consistently. So that is the one I'm adding to our financial health this year. And last but not least, the emotional health. Once again, like I said, we're going to stick to my guns, say yes when I mean it and no when I mean it. Really, really hone in on that this year. But then I want to say no to overbooking. This one's going to be fun. I want 4 free days a month. And what I'm envisioning this to look like is 1 day a week I have blocked out for nothing. Now, we can do things. I just don't want to have anything on the calendar except for the day. So it encourages me to have a calm down day. And for some reason, I'm choosing Tuesday as the day because that is the day of the week that I feel the most burnt out. I don't know why. It's the beginning of the week, but I do. Then I need to really, really, really work on decluttering my phone storage. I want to cut the total storage down. And a big part of that is, y'all, my photos. It does not help that my children now know how to use the camera on our phone. So I have a lot of photos because of that. But thus, I have like 5 years worth of photos on that phone. And I pay for the extra storage. I'm like, no, we don't need that. But anyway, that's what I'm going to work on. And the last one, forgive 70 times 7. I've got the scripture, Matthew 18 and Mosiah 26 linked with that. And I think that, again, is something I just can really, really hone in on for myself. Okay, there you have it. Thank you for sitting here through all of this. Thank you for letting me be accountable to you. And just know, we will most likely do this again at the end of next year. So make the move right now. We will stand accountable together. Email me or text me your goals. I'll totally follow up with you. I will. Because again, I love it. It's so much fun. But of course, Thank you for coming along these past 12 days. It has been so much fun. We will still continue on with our conference series, and I hope to get some other extra episodes throughout the year as well. I hope you have a great rest of the day, as well as a great rest of the month and year. You're amazing. You've got this. I know you do. And we'll talk to you later. Bye.